have had 2 different men tell me today that they are going to become passport bros because they can't find a wife. I'm calling them out. One of them doesn't even date Christians. The other one doesn't date in his denomination. He keeps going for Catholic women and he's Orthodox. I'm sorry. Why would God bring somebody into your life that could be a potential spouse if you are saying yes to anyone and everybody that comes into your life?
Men are traveling out of the U.S. just to find a wife. I was watching a podcast the other day and it went on to explain why men are traveling out of the States to find a wife. To sum it all up, they say that women from other countries are well educated, classy, elegant, very feminine, and they understand how to give and take in relationships, instead of being demanding, entitled, and ungrateful for things that men do for them. And I'm not saying all, but some women in America have grown so entitled and demanding. Basically, they think that they can treat a man however they want and they can get away with it. Treat a man poorly, and then they criticize their looks when they're not in the best shape themselves. Agree or disagree all you want, but men do like feminine women. They like when women behave feminine, and they like when women take care of themselves. Want a good man, but they're tired of our BS. So much, in fact, that they're traveling overseas just to find a wife that respects them.
So what do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced was said by 2030 or something, 50% of the women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading, because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas. And then the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle.
And it's because they want a woman who is dependent on them for their life.
So it couldn't be because wokeness is destroying the family structure in this country. So it couldn't be because a lot of women in this country can't even cook a simple meal. It couldn't be because a lot of women in this country don't even want a man because man ain't shit. It definitely couldn't be because a lot of women in this country are boss bitches and think starting a family would ruin their career. I mean, it definitely couldn't be because a lot of women in this country would rather have an abortion than take responsibility for their actions, and raise a child. I mean, it also couldn't be because a lot of women in this country think they're strong and independent women, but expect their man to do everything for them while giving nothing in return. Nah. It's definitely because they want somebody who's dependent on them and dumb and uneducated.
And I think I heard something that said women in the country can't even cook a simple meal. That is true for some women, but a lot of these women can cook. A lot of these women can clean. A lot of these women can do a lot of things. They're just not going to do it. They feel like the man should be doing, at least half. One of these women said something to the effect of, I want the man to work full time. I'm not going to be working. I'm going to be a part-time stay-at-home mom. But he gonna come from working full time. I think she said 12 hours, something like that. And he gonna come home and do half the chores in the house. What?
And the guy she don't know nothing about, this him. What up, Sheriff? My wife and the guy she cheating on me with.
Really?
Who's he?
She ain't cheating on you.
Yes, she is.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm talking to
I know she know you because she was at your house at 2 a.m. That's okay. Where's our daughter?
She's at
Where's
my
our daughter?
sister's. She's at
Where's
my
our daughter?
sister's.
And why you all up on him?
I'm here talking to him as a friend.
I said, why you all up on him?
I'm here talking to him as a friend.
A friend that you cheating on me with.
Oh my fuck.
You ain't got no business being with no dude this late. And he know that as a man. Y'all
I didn't even
cheating.
know you existed.
So she didn't tell you.
Knocked on my door.
So she didn't tell you she was married.
Told me that y'all wasn't together.
You told him that?
I don't know anything about y'all.
11 years you been married.
Have you ever heard of
He ain't even a friend that don't even know you married. I came here earlier.
Sure.
I was wondering if you, Because you
Sure,
come to
you
Linda town,
come here?
so I knew you. I knew you was gonna be riding
You don't
somewhere.
know where I go.
I'm just making sure I got all the evidence I
Make
need. So
sure.
when you get to court, you can't lie no more. Retired from the military, bought a house in her
I see people
hometown,
there?
moved here to be a good husband because she's from here. That truck she drove up here, you see you with? You know who bought that and made every payment on that motherfucker? Me.
I'm up here to see my
But she a gold digger. He think it's cool.
I don't think
Bro, you knew she was married. You knew when I came to your door she was married.
Yes.
There's a lot of men right now that'll go home, get that and blow your off. But I'm not that dude. I sit here and I know you cheating on me again, and I still ain't did nothing. I ain't did nothing to him because it ain't even worth it, bro. I know she lied to you because she lying to me. She's still lying.
Here, and I decide, that's why you see women screaming about how is great. They go to these rallies and they're just like screaming the most horrible things. And I think if you convince enough women that motherhood and having babies is like this horrific, oppressive ball and chain, which is what my mother was convinced of. She was totally convinced. She said to me once, having children is the worst thing that ever happened to me. No offense. She said, no offense, but it's the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I asked her once, I was like, what is it that you would have gone and done, if it weren't for having kids? She had no idea. She had no answer. She just knows that it would have been great. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's like they use a lot of fear of missing out, a lot
they
of
get indoctrinated.
Yeah.
And then that becomes your primary narrative, and you believe it no matter what, and you just default to that no matter what.
Yeah.
And all your discomfort is because of this thing that you've already identified. This is the problem. Patriarchy, men. I got saddled down with kids.
Yep.
That's why I'm miserable. Not because I'm completely unproductive. I don't have a good community. I'm not healthy.
Right.
All the above.
Isn't it weird? Have you ever noticed like all the videos women will make about how they get a divorce? I just went through my divorce and then I had a post-divorce glow up. They lose 40 pounds. They get in shape. They get their hair done. Then maybe get a little plastic surgery, a little Botox, a little filler. And they're like, look at me now. And it's like, if you had done that while you were married, you'd probably still be married and having a great time with your husband.
Perhaps the husband's a loser.
Sometimes.
A lot.
That happens.
There's a lot of losers out there.
That's
There's
true.
a lot of guys I wouldn't want to hitch my wagon to.
That's
true. If I was a woman, count on this dipshit to figure things out.
I think that's the other result of the liberation stuff, though, is like, what motivation do men have to be like good, dependable, upstanding providers when they can just sleep around?
I'll be back at 7. Enjoy your ec afternoon.
Wait, are you seriously just going to leave?
Yes, my schedule is set.
I haven't spoken to you all morning. Aren't you going to ask what's wrong?
Let's unpack that logic. Silence is not communication. It is an unstated test.
I just wanted to see if you cared enough to notice.
I don't participate in guessing games. I value transparent and direct communication. When you are ready to have a constructive conversation, I will be here to listen. Until then, enjoy your day.
A public storage unit? You packed all my things into boxes? You can't just kick me out.
I packed them very carefully, Lisa. Nothing is broken.
We lived together for 3 years. We were building a life. I just needed 1 weekend to breathe.
You didn't go to Miami to breathe. You went to act single while keeping me at home as your backup plan.
It was just a girls' trip. Why are you so insecure and controlling?
I'm not insecure. I just have boundaries. And you cross them.
So 3 years mean nothing to you? You're just throwing us away over one trip?
You threw it away the moment you decided my commitment was a safety net instead of a partnership. The moment you decided my commitment was a safety net instead of a partnership.
Cole, wait! My credit card declined this morning. I couldn't even buy coffee.
Because it's my card, Lisa, connected to my account.
But you always pay the bill. How am I supposed to pay for a hotel tonight?
You wanted to be independent. I'm letting you be 100% independent.
You can't do this to me. I have nowhere to go.
You wanted to test the free market. Ask the market for a place to stay. A relationship is a choice, not a hostage situation. Walk away.
Women break up with a man 6 months before they break up with them. Once you've grieved the relationship for months while you're still in the relationship, then you leave. But men are so literally dumb and narcissistic that they will treat you like for all of those months, and no matter how many times you tell them, like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore, I'm not going to deal with this anymore, they think because you keep taking them back, it's because you're genuinely accepting their behavior.
And where's the communication? Where's you trying to fix the issue? If you genuinely want to leave the relationship, why are you sticking around even longer? You do realize when you stay in an unhappy relationship, but you're planning on leaving, that's still a choice, right? But he's not responsible for that. That's still your choice. It's weird to me how some women will play victim in these situations, acting like he was so horrible. But you staying in a relationship you're not satisfied with is also on you. And men are not dumb or narcissistic. I've noticed a lot of women don't communicate very well. Or they communicate and then they don't actually take action. They don't follow through with what they're promising will happen. And yeah, if you go quiet and you're peaceful to be around for a while, why would he expect any different? He can't read your mind. Maybe he thought, okay, things are kind of bad right now. Our relationship's not great, but she's still here, so clearly it's survivable enough. And let's be real here, some of us ladies, we go through some stuff with our hormones and such. We have moments where we lash out and we're pissed off, and then the next day we're good. I'm not justifying that behavior. I think you need to figure it out and you need to manage yourself. But a lot of men have dealt with that so many times where they don't always take you seriously because of that. So if you're known to freak out on him for no good reason, again, he's not going to take it as seriously when you actually mean it. And if a man made a video saying, oh, women are dumb and narcissistic, that would be heavily shamed for him saying that. That would be unacceptable, but somehow it's acceptable when a woman says it. These generalizations are absolutely ridiculous.
Last Christmas, I gave you my ass, but the very next day, you fucked my best friend. This year, I'm fucking your dad.
Imagine that was your ma. All the best, Mom.
You know, these modern women, the older they get, it seems like the more stubborn they get and the more set in their ways they get. You do know that you are ruining your chances to find a man, right? And they care. They feel like, let me say this, modern women be picking the wrong heels to on. They be picking the wrong things to stake their claim, to plant their flag. And that's why they be single. They do a lot of dumb stuff. They say a lot of stupid stuff at the wrong time. The very definition of not reading the room. And a man hears this and he's like, ooh, no, we're not going to be doing that. Absolutely not. They be on TikTok talking reckless and then wonder why no men come up to them. Because I saw you talking reckless on TikTok. Now, it'd be one thing if you were talking reckless about something that actually mattered. But you're talking reckless about stupidity. And I know for sure at some point in time, that's going to affect me. It's going to be a problem for me. Absolutely not.
Yeah, one more thing about me. If we get married, there's no such thing as divorce, honey. If you get tired of me, go lay down for a few hours. If you're sick of me, go hang out with the boys for a little bit. But you're not going anywhere and I'm not going anywhere. We're going to work this out. Got it?
100%. When you get married, you got to take divorce off the table. You got to fight for each other. That doesn't mean a spouse couldn't do something to disqualify themselves from marriage, like commit adultery. But you need to go into everything with the mindset that we're going to work through this and we're going to figure it out. And men, if you don't like the marriage you have and you don't like the wife you have, sir, you're the gardener. Tend your garden. Fix your marriage, cultivate your wife, go have a lot of fun together, go on some dates, and it's your job, your responsibility to fix your marriage and enjoy your marriage.
So I'm actually really happy you pointed this out because this changes the game. A lot of times we assume that men don't want to pursue us because they're not interested, but we live in a society now where I think men are like walking on eggshells because they're not sure how we're going to react and how we're going to respond. And if we're going to think that they're creepy, so they kind of just stay back. So we got to learn to kind of initiate some of these little magnetic tactics using I want to give these guys a little bit of knowledge that we are interested. I'm really happy you pointed this out because this actually makes a lot of sense. So thank you.
You with the pizza. Does height matter in a man? So step on the scale. Ring bet. 178. All right, we cashed out. All right, we made some money. How are you 178 pounds?
Well,
It's all that pizza. Here, I'll take your pizza for you, though.
No, it's okay.
You don't need it.
I need it.
You need to go on a calorie deficit. Bro, stop being up.
I'm gonna say something a little spicy, okay? Turn the lights on when you're doing it with your man. I can almost guarantee you that if you have married a genuinely good man who loves every bit of you, has been through life, has been to war with you, and has watched you give birth to these babies, and you may not be feeling the hottest as a postpartum mom, but I can guarantee you that man loves every bit of you. Turn the lights on and do it with your husband. Trust me, it puts you in a better mood. It's good for your brain. It's good for the both of you, because we get so caught up in being parents, in the depths of parenthood, that thinking about intimacy and being with our spouse sometimes just isn't there. Don't forget, you guys were married to each other before you had babies. God, your marriage, and then your babies. Don't forget to be the friend you always needed.
My ideal voting system would be a one family vote. So my husband and I would vote together, one household, one vote. Traditionally, like, the husband would ultimately decide. But again, like, I believe that a wife and husband should have the same political views, the same religious views. That's how the marriage works. That's how you're going to raise your kids a certain way. I don't think it's giving up your power. I think we're a little bit too obsessed with the words power and empowerment, having this tyranny over men or feeling like we're the exact same as men. And women don't really respect that polarity anymore. They don't understand that they're completely different and they're so uniquely made that they want to be exactly like men. They want to make the same decisions that men make in order to feel equal to them. But we're not equal. We're completely different. You are not powerful because you're not a man. You have different unique gifts and talents that you can contribute. And if we actually respected our differences and started to contribute instead of compete with one another, that would save a lot of relationships. That would save a lot of women from this sort of man-hating ideology that they have. A masculine man doesn't want to be told what to do by you. He doesn't want you to compete with him. He just wants you to be his piece.
You know, modern women for a long time thought they were getting away with bad behavior. I'm just going to continue to do bad stuff. And for a little while they did, because that's, you know, I'll say that's how the men were trained to, that's just how it is, right? You know, that's just the way she acts. And they let you go off of foolishness. But now, even though the men are trained, it's like, well, that's how women are. Even though they're socialized to say, well, that's just how women are, they now say, well, even though that's the way they are, I don't have to sit up here and take it. I don't have to sit up here and be beat on and hit on and people, she talking to me crazy and talking to me sideways. I don't have to sit up here and take that. I can leave. I don't have to continue paying for this. Absolutely not. This date's over. Oh, and by the way, find your own way home. You could have been at least been a gentleman and taking me home. No, I don't. Find your own way home. I'm not doing that anymore. And modern women are stunned. They're shocked that men would ever do something like that.
Bye, see you later. Took him out to eat, let him hit, sent him home in an Uber, just like they do to us. Let's see how he likes it.
Dude, I just had the greatest day of my life. You are not going to believe what happened.
I like my men the way I like my coffee, brown. And my husband likes his women the way he likes his flour tortillas, white and speckly.
Mm-hmm. So is there any bending the rules when it comes to certain women?
Nah, man, I ain't compromising my principles, man. It ain't about the woman, man. It's about me. I'm not compromising to the man in the mirror. That's more important than any broad. I validate myself. I get my credibility. I'm not compromising to the man in the mirror. That's more important than any broad. I validate myself. I get my credibility from myself. So I'm not standing on my principles for the broad. I'm doing it for myself. Man, it will hurt me more when I look myself in the mirror, than to her. So no, I ain't bending no rules. I say this, I'm all for changing. I'm always evolving with new information. Change the situation, but guess what? I'm gonna change at my pace. A woman say, okay, will you change for the right woman? No, because if I'm changing for any reason other than I thought it was the right thing to do, then I'm changing for something outside myself, which means I don't really believe in it. Right. I may change to that in due time, but it got to come from me, right? Because I'm doing something for somebody else. They might not be here. Then who am I when they're gone? I changed for you. Now you're gone. Who am I? You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's big. That's deep there. Did they put that in the Bible or something? I thought I read that one thing. Like,
I'm sorry, but a man with a dog is an immediate red flag for me. Oh dear. But why?
If I see you have a dog, like if we're on a dating app or out in person or whatever, and you mention you have a dog, it immediately like gives me that.
So having the wrong pet, in someone's opinion, is now an ick. But you'll never guess why.
Because in my mind, I'm like, men are not even naturally like nurturing people anyway.
Whenever I hear opinions like this, I can only assume that they have most likely been around the wrong types of men for their entire lives, and unfortunately assume that all men are not nurturing. But how do they explain all of those men out there that are actually good fathers? Oh wait, they probably can't.
So it's like, what, you just have a dog because you just need constant affection and love and all these things?
I wonder if they realize that a lot of women actually are dog owners as well, but they probably don't try to degrade women the way they're degrading men in this case.
Also, I'm the only bitch you should worry about taking care of. I'm sorry.
And see, there's a big difference there. Dogs tend to love their owners unconditionally versus someone else who apparently gets jealous of a pet.
You know what pisses me off? It pisses me off whenever I'm seeing a girl and she's walking around with her Christian Dior bag and she looks so effing cute, and her boyfriend is walking around in his Birkenstocks. Like, what the are you wearing? What are you doing? Do you not see this queen that you're with and you're walking with the dogs out?
Your husband might want this more than anything else in the world.
Having a handy husband gives you a false sense of reality, because in my mind, I'm like, there's nothing this man can't do. I have an overwhelming amount of confidence in his abilities, like delusional level. I think that he could build us a house from scratch with his bare hands in one weekend. And the way I talk about him, I'm like, oh yeah, he can fix it. Like, yeah, of course. I don't even Google anymore. Why? I married Google with 4 arms. The problem is it now bleeds into everything. I'll be like, do you think that you could install a skylight? And he's like, probably. In my head, he's on HGTV with a tool belt and a catchphrase. It's a dangerous amount of faith. Because I genuinely believe if society collapsed, he would build us a cabin, rewire it, go hunt dinner, and come back and still ask me if I set up auto pay. That's the trade-off, though. He fixes the world, and I fix the Wi-Fi password. So, honestly, I think we both married up.
This might be the cutest thing I've seen on the internet this week, because she is praising her husband up and down. Whether or not he can actually put in the skylight is not the point. It's that she believes that he can. And this is actually what your husband wants from you more than most things in the world. To believe that he is capable, to trust that he can go for it and probably get it done. And a lot of wives struggle with this concept because in their heads, they're thinking worst case scenario. He probably can't do it, and then it's going to get worse and we're going to have to pay more money and all these things, right? It hurts your marriage. It would actually be better to let him try to fix the garbage disposal, figure out himself that maybe he can't, and then hire a handyman rather than having you instill doubt in him that you don't think he can do it. What will absolutely be the wind beneath his sails is saying, babe, I trust you. You've got this.
A lot of these modern women spend majority of the time playing around, and they expect you to go along with it. They play around, then a man just kind of sits back and watches and he observes. And he says, oh, she's not serious. And then he moves on. Or, for a lot of you modern women, y'all might run into a Chad or Tyrone or honestly and truly a regular man and just sits back and watch you play around. And he says, I'll entertain that. And he does for a little while and he sends you on your way. And then you get mad at him because you feel like he took you and he used you. And so the next man, you're going to charge him $300 or $500 and you got to take me on a date because, or a date at this playing those games in the first place. Now you're trying to charge me for something that you did. When a man walks out there and he makes a mistake or he allows certain things, doesn't matter if it's date, honestly, it doesn't matter. And he allows those things, then he's got to eat that. He's got to take responsibility for that. For some reason, modern women don't feel like they have to take responsibility or accountability for anything.
I believe modern women up to date have been hoodwinked, tricked, and bamboozled out of their rightful place. Why modern women hate to submit? Is that true? Is it not true? Is it overblown? Have women taken it the wrong way? Have men taken it the wrong way? But let me give you some scriptural basis for submission, some biblical background, so you'll understand why we have been, as women, I believe, hoodwinked, tricked, and bamboozled bamboozled. Let me say that again. I believe modern women of today have been hoodwinked, tricked, and bamboozled out of their rightful place. And unfortunately, so many women have allowed the culture, the feminist, demonic feminist ideology to trick you out of your place in your husband's home, to trick you out of your place in your marriage, to trick you out of your relationships because you have embraced this demonic culture and masculine energy, masculine ideas, masculine aggression when it comes to your interactions with your husband or your mate.
You 43-year-old.
He make you feel way bigger than you are. Pause. He make you feel huge, man. Kanye West, he the one.
What? Watching my ex thrive, it's a beautiful thing, but it's really triggering for me because I walked away with literally having to start over after 12 years of starting over, of wondering if I'm going to be able to keep a roof over my head with my boys and not being able to just go out and play in our backyard like we used to, and wondering if I'm going to be able to feed them.
Women don't need men to live and thrive. The voids women have cannot be filled with semen. Now, you may want companionship from a man. You may like being around a man. You may like the attention of men, but you don't need it. Men need your attention. They need your presence. That's why it's so offensive when you ignore them. It's offensive that a woman doesn't want to be attached to a man by way of marriage and children, because it's to them. If they don't get access to women, it's a. And so this is why men don't cut women off. They cannot exist without women. The voids that women feel are not due to the absence of men. It's due to the absence of self. Women are here to learn how to love themselves. The nurturing part of women is for self first. It's for children. It's for other women. It's not for men. You're not here to nurture and love men. You're here to nurture and love yourself. You're here to nurture and love your children. And you're here to nurture and love and build community with other women. Right? Now, this is very offensive to men, and men are going to be fighting for their lives in the comments, as they do in every comment section of a woman, realizing that her life doesn't begin and end with a man. It's offensive to them because if women start believing this, less men will have access to women. Never be under that illusion or delusion that a man's life begins and ends with you. Men will never give you that kind of power over them. They want to have that kind of power over you, though. And this is not about, dating multiple men and being around multiple men and, that stuff. I don't have the bandwidth to do that. Men are never that important to me. Men are not that interesting. I genuinely like being myself, being by myself. I like myself, right? That's hard for men to conceptualize because they need women. They're never going to understand this train of thought because they cannot live without women. Women can absolutely live without men. So the void you have, or what if I need men, or what if you don't need to be you don't need that. You may desire it, but you're not going to, I'm not getting right?
Yeah.
Every party I always cracked.
I definitely cracked the most when I was 19, and I don't think I've ever cracked more.
What was your body count at 19?
So when I got to 19, it was like 7 or 8. And then by the time I finished 19, it's probably like 40 or 50.
Is it 40 or 50?
When I ended 19, yeah.
You ended, so I like, oh shit.
Yeah. But I won't lie, because I was just like an absolute, I got out of I was in relationships for like 4 years straight. And so I got out of that and I went crazy.
Nah, them numbers still don't add up. See how she'll lie even when she's trying to tell the truth? Still lying. Shorty said that her body count when she was 19 was 7, but by the time she ended 19, it was 40 or 50. And then she tried to excuse that by saying I was in relationships for like 4 years straight. So after I got out of the relationship, I went crazy. But wait a minute, guys. She said she was 19 with 7 bodies. 19 to 7 bodies. Relationships for 4 years straight. Okay, so that means we're going to go all the way back down to 15. Well, between the ages of 15 and 19, while being in relationships, you got up to 7. Now, if my math is correct, that's about 1.75 bodies a year in between the ages of 15 to 17. But let's round it up because that would only make sense. So 2 bodies a year in between the ages of 15 and 19. Having all those bodies didn't make you feel like you were fulfilling the cracking escapades enough in between the ages of 15 to 19. It was 2 bodies a year. That wasn't going crazy, because that wasn't going crazy. But you needed so much freedom from the 2 bodies a year in between the ages of 15 to 19 that you have to up it from 7 to 50? 7 bodies by 19 is crazy. Because, oh my gosh, Tori, let's just tell the truth. You was just getting cracked all the time. All the time. You was just getting cracked. That's what you was doing, okay? Then try to use the excuse that you were in relationships. That's why your body count wasn't higher before. If that's you holding back, oh my gosh.
Gotta watch this.
My question would be, why would I be paying child support and why would I be paying back child support for?
You're paying child support because your child doesn't reside with you. Your child resides with his mother. Y'all need another primary conservator.
So since he had him for 3 days out of a week, and because he stays with her for 3 days out of a week, I have to pay $400 and some odd number you just said a week just because he stays with him for 3 days out of a week.
Mr. Fox, you did not contest her being the primary conservator, did you? No, you need to y'all being joint managing conservators. With her being primary and getting to determine where the child lives, where the child's residency.
So because she gets to determine where the kids reside, I have to pay $400 and some odd number because she gets to determine where my son stays. Yes, even though I give my son 4 days out of a week and it's 7 days out of a week. So if I get him for 4 and she gets him for 3, just because she can decide where he stays, I have to pay for that.
Mr. Fox, if you want to be the primary conservator, you can file something to be the primary conservator. But now you are not.
So because I'm not the primary conservator, I have to pay $400. I'm still trying to get it because I'm not the primary conservator.
Well, Mr. Fox, I'm not going to be able to explain it to you because I've already told you.
Yes,
and you just keep saying the same thing over
because I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding how my son's only be with the mother 3 days out of a week. I have to pay for that.
Let me give you some more information. You don't like my ruling. If you think it's not fair,
yeah, I do.
You have 3 days to appeal, 30 days to file a motion for new trial. This case is out of the 254th District Court. That is Judge Kim Brown. She might have a different opinion from mine.
Of course. I would love to get straight over there.
Okay, so if you need information on how to appeal, the attorney's office can email it to you, sir.
Please do.
Okay. Any other questions?
Judge, the payback on the retroactive support was 80 or 90?
80. I'm sorry.
At 5,400, correct?
Yes, 5,400.
Thank you, Judge. That's all.
Okay. Any questions, Ms. McDuff?
No, ma'am.
All right, then thank you both for appearing here today, and you're both free to go.
Remember, women spend 80% of the money in this country. Women are more than half the voting bloc in this country. Once women started taking over all the male spaces, they became, and now they're becoming the majority, so it's getting worse. But how did we get here? I think once HR departments and just this whole shift from women into the workplace, which people always go on as great, yes, but there's also downsides. What are those downsides? Well, rather than everybody acting like, well, we used to have a frat house going on, well, now it's become a kindergarten Montessori, okay? Everybody's a Karen now. So, and women have been, I think what's happened is there's like this idea that women should still be held as women. They're still privileged, so they have their cake and eat it too. We have this, these are women, we have to treat them delicately, but at the same time, they're empowered. And with men, we still treat them exactly the same. Men are still supposed to be that same, under the old contract that Myron Gaines talks about in his book, Women Deserve Less. A lot of people don't like Myron Gaines, but I do think the book he wrote, Women Deserve Less, has a lot of validity to it. I think what he says about dating and women and men is a lot of it has a ring of truth, and that is that the old contract is still enforced for men. Men are supposed to be providers. Men are still supposed to do all these things. I think the other thing that happened is politically we moved all those jobs overseas, so men don't have any leverage anymore, and we totally changed the milieu of the United States to make it a more global one for those global elites who are into, and I hate to, it's totally political. I mean, I can't say that the right is that great, but the truth is people on the left, it's so indoctrinated that who are their voters? They're women. They were minorities, but we're seeing, as we saw in the election, more and more minority men, black men voting on the right because they know that the left doesn't like men. And they're struggling now. The left is trying to put out there that, we want men back on. When they saw how this election went with these silent male voters, they're trying to pull men back in with like, we sort of like placating men. But it's not true. There's nothing there for men. In what way is anyone on the left helping men? Traditional men. Now, some men, yes, but men who are not even traditional, just if you're male and you are a straight male, men who are not even traditional, just if you're male and you are a straight male, you on the left side of the spectrum are not going to get anywhere. It's very difficult.
One thing I don't understand is when guys ask me out on a coffee date or ask me to go do a workout.
I responded very quickly to this.
It's like, no, I can take myself to coffee. I can also take myself to work out and I'm in great shape. I don't even have time to get coffee with my own girlfriends, let alone some guy I don't know.
Well, I responded very quickly to this message that now has over 600 likes. Perhaps you're too busy to date then. There's nothing wrong with a coffee date. Gentlemen, I encourage you to ignore this take. This is someone to me that sounds like is a lot of work, is constantly judging men, and probably wouldn't know a great guy if he walked right past her. And the trouble is many guys are hearing things like that and taking it to mean she knows something about what all women want. And here's the thing, guys, we actually don't want to be the kind of guys for all women. We want to be the kind of man we want to be for the woman that we want, for someone who actually suits us. But this whole thing over the last few years, I guess, has turned into how do I be the correct kind of person instead of how do I be the kind of person I'm proud of, that is still open, that is still loving and kind and respectful, and has a healthy amount of interest in the opposite. Not a focus on trying to prove ourselves, not a focus on trying to win this kind of woman over. And hey, if she likes that and she wants something way more than a coffee date or whatever, or a workout, then fine, she can want that. That's up to her. Instead of thinking that we need to morph into what this kind of woman wants, men, I encourage us to think, what kind of guy do I want to be? There are two occasions I can remember specifically where I was being tested, where a woman actually called me for help, and she actually didn't really need my help. She was testing me to see how I reacted. I broke up with her on the spot. I'm not here to be tested. I'm not here to be manipulated. If you're testing people, you're manipulating them. You are inauthentic. You are operating from some special place where you think you're the prize and we must pass through. That's another thing that we've gone way overboard with. It's not that you're the prize or that I'm the prize. There's a lot of great things about me. I can also be a huge pain in the ass. We want to find that nuance, that sweet spot that, yeah, I'm pretty great. And there's some things that, aren't so easy to be with. That's human, you guys. Time for some more space for...
Leave me alone.
Pause this, because what we're watching right now is what a lot of men have been living through in silence for years. And this one hits a hard personal note for me, not only because it's in Utah where I'm from, but because I lived it. Kudos to The Bachelorette for canceling the season. Not that they had much choice. And kudos to the dude who recorded it. That is domestic abuse. Not she's being emotional, not messy, not a bad moment, and not, well, what did he do to deserve it? It's abuse and it's criminal. And the only reason why the internet cares right now is because there was a camera. I've lived this. I've seen a lot of good men, solid men, get hit, get screamed at, have things thrown at them. And the second they speak up, they're told to shut up, man up, or they're questioned, what did you do to deserve it? I've spoken personally multiple times on this subject. Not to try and punish my ex, not to work out my past demons, and not to jab at her, but because nobody spoke up on this when I lived it. We as a society have to have this conversation. It's long overdue. And the only thing that's going to possibly change this is accountability. Invariably, whenever I have spoken on this, there are women that show up in my comment section triggered. I'm told I shouldn't speak about it. I'm told it's not fair. But if I was a woman saying this, those same women would be saying I'm a hero, I'm brave, and I should write a book. Let's be honest about the double standard. When a man does this, his life is over. Career gone, reputation gone. We have seen it many times, and rightfully so. But when it's a woman, we hesitate, we explain it away, we soften it. We have created a culture where one side is told, you're always wrong, do better. And the other side is told, you're always right, and they're celebrated. That's not empowerment. That is culturally induced narcissism. And narcissism doesn't create equality. It creates resentment. It creates backlash. It creates broken relationships on both sides. Here's the truth. If you feel like it's okay to hit your partner, you are a piece of and you should be in prison. And here's the truth. If you feel like it's okay to hit your partner, you are a piece of and you should be in prison. And if you're in a relationship where you're being hit, man or woman, record it, give it to the authorities, and let the full weight of the law descend on that person. Even if that person is the mother or father of your children, because it will serve you well in family court. You may not realize it yet, but your relationship is already over and has been for a while. And the best thing you can do for your children is not to go down with the ship, is to show them a better way. Because if you show them that you'll tolerate it, what do you think they're going to do when they're in your shoes? Children listen to what we do, not what we say. The best thing that you can do for them is to break the cycle of abuse. And if you have it recorded, you'll be able to take your children with you. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to them. And fellas, there's not a ton of resources out there, but if you are going through something like this, hit tribe in the comment section. I'll DM you back.
Beautiful view.
It is.
I've been thinking, Cole.
About?
Us. My 20s were chaotic. I dated the wrong guys. Bad boys who didn't care. But you were always the good guy. I'm finally ready to settle down, Cole. I'm ready for you.
You're not ready for me. You're just tired.
Excuse me?
Your options are shrinking. You're not choosing me. You're asking for asylum.
That is incredibly insulting.
It's just the truth.
I spent my 20s finding myself. I grew up.
You aged. There's a difference.
Why are you punishing me for my past? I thought you were secure.
I am. That's why I can do the math.
Math? This is love.
You gave your best, stress-free years to guys who treated you like a free trial. Now you come to me with trauma and a ticking clock.
I saved the best version of myself for marriage.
You saved the most expensive version. You want a premium price for a depreciating asset.
I am not an asset.
You can polish the paint, Lisa, but I can still see the 200K mileage. I'm not a recycling center.
You arrogant jerk. I don't need you. You up? Wait, don't look at that.
I don't care about it.
He just texted me out of nowhere.
Because he knows you still answer. You still want his heartbeat, but you need my wallet. You're looking for a sponsor to fund your mistakes.
Cole, please. My lease is up next month. I have nowhere else to go.
Not my problem.
History. You used to like me.
I liked the idea of you. 5 years ago.
A real man would protect me.
A real man protects his peace. The door is right there.
You'll alone.
Better than as a safety net. I am not a consolation prize.
You know, modern women continue to prove themselves insufferable in society, insufferable in dating. You're not a help. You're a hindrance. Continue to hear modern women say, oh, you know, the Bible says that he who finds a wife, and they think they're saying something, but they're actually not saying anything, to be honest. Most of you ladies are not wives. You're women. You're a woman. You're not a wife. Those are two very different things. And it just speaks to how modern women can get in relationships and get things twisted and confused. Because you're walking into a relationship. Some of these women are walking into relationships thinking that everything is going to be easy. Oh, you're supposed to make my life easier as a man. Who said that? Who said that? Who? Why do you think that? I mean, yeah, the man's not supposed to just make your life difficult, just talk to you sideways and all that other crazy stuff. But the idea that the man is just working and working just to get nothing in return, there's got to be some sort of harvest. He's got to be able to collect. If he's investing his time, his resources, and energy, he's going to, at some point in time, come to collect. We're not talking about or you know, you doing something or whatever, intimacy or whatever, whatnot. As a partner, he's going to come collect on his investment in a companion, on his investment in a partner. He's going to come collect.